In the Pits is partnered with the Splat Zone Trinity 3-Man Paintball Series. The series, put on by Splat Zone Indoor Paintball, offers a fun and competitive opportunity for tournament play for players of all experience levels. Beginner, Division 5, and Open 3v3 X-Ball gives all players a chance to gather two friends and have some fun. Are you a beginner interested in playing, but worried your setup won't be competitive? Not to worry, Splat Zone will have several setups on hand for beginner division players if needed. The series is even investing in bringing my personal ref crew from outside the Houston area, guaranteeing that your experience that day will be run smoothly and fairly. Registration is live now for the season opener on Sunday, May 25th, so grab two friends and get signed up today. In the Pits is partnered with BEM Wraps. Behind every mask is a unique and creative player. Tap into it when you order your next custom headpiece. Their Build-A-Band lets you communicate with them one-on-one to make your order just the way you want, all the way down to the color of the stitch. Check out their Instagram at BEMWraps for drops and build videos of them working on orders. They offer very competitive pricing, so reach out today to get started on your own one-of-a-kind headpiece. In the Pits is partnered with 71 Designs. Owned and operated by veteran Wade Martin, and partnered with fellow Texas brand Compete. 71 Designs can take your ideas for soft goods, merchandise, and casual wear and make them a reality. Message 71 Designs on Facebook or Instagram to get started today. In the Pits is partnered with QBR. Are you seeking to heal and recover from the toll that paintball puts on the mind and body? QBR has the solution for you. Head to QBRofficial.com and use code PITS10 for 10% off of your order, plus free shipping. QBR, they don't sell broccoli. In the Pits is partnered with XTPL Events. The Extreme Tournament Paintball League is a series put on by the Lukow family of paintball fit fame that gives the opportunity for players to learn and grow together as a team. 3-Man, Challengers and Champions X-Ball, Draft Mech X-Ball, Super 7s, U3v3, even Glow-in-the-Dark Mech X. There's something for everyone at XTPL. Not to mention prize tosses, raffles, and the infamous paintball munching contest. Events happen throughout the year, and the prizes never disappoint. Sign up for an XTPL event today on PB Leagues. In the Pits is partnered with Hydra. Designed by players for players, you can outfit yourself in Hydra gear from head to toe. Have confidence that when you make a purchase from Hydra, you are purchasing a well-tested and well-thought-out product, trusted by several top teams, including World Cup Pro Champions Paintball Fit. I personally recommend their Hydra Black knee pads. Purchases over $100 receive free shipping. Head to hydra.fit to browse their selection and discover the Hydra mentality. In the Pits is partnered with Texas Pro player Jared Sherman. In a world where saving time means making money, Jared's local seed bank is making waves in Texas, carrying a large assortment of Texas-approved varieties for use in the Texas Hemp Program, seeds for novelty use, as well as premium genetics bred for solventless extraction. Jared Sherman has the ability to satisfy even the most sophisticated collectors. Head to his website and use code INTHEPITS for 10% off of your orders. In the Pits is partnered with Mariachi Águilas de Oro. Based in Austin and servicing the surrounding areas, these Golden Eagles will bring life to any event you are having, from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, corporate events, or even a simple performance to enjoy. Guillermo Padilla, one of their trumpet players, is also a member of the Texas paintball scene. Visit them on Facebook and Instagram to check out some of their past performances, or give them a call to book them for your event today. In the Pits is partnered with the San Antonio 3v3 Paintball Series. The series provides local players with an affordable, fun opportunity to experience the excitement of tournament paintball and has already seen events sell out. I personally am the head referee for the series, and I can't wait to see you there. Visit SAT3v3.com for details on upcoming events, or head to PB Leagues to register your team today. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot is a local Texas videographer with numerous events experience filming on the Major League Paintball Pro field. Needing coverage for an upcoming event? Message him at getdat_shot on Instagram and let him know In the Pits sent you. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message at Paintball Kumite on Instagram.
Lights on real quick. So.
Okay. All right. Recording has started, but obviously
Lights on real quick. So.
Okay. All right. Recording has started, but obviously I can edit around it. So
Okay.
yeah, go for it, y'all.
All right, no problem. I turn my lights on. All right, we good, boys?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 139 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene in my home, Texas. From professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands. We even have some photographers and videographers on as well. Every week, we will have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and a new special guest. I'm Ryan Mafia Moffitt. I'm your host, and as always, this episode, we're going to get into the pits with our guests, Stephen Hatch and Brandon Brando Baird, semi-pro players for Sacramento DMG. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? I'm glad to have you guys on. Normally we're Texas-based teams over here, so it's cool to have some more California representation on the show. Boys, how you doing?
It feels good being the first, DEI hire of In the Pit. So, I'm excited to be here. Definitely excited to be here.
That? Yeah, regional-based DEI. I think that still counts.
Yep, 100%. So I'm excited to get into this episode. I've been to Texas a little bit, but I'm really excited to dive into the real information.
That was true. It was cool to see you out here a couple of weeks ago. Our boy Brando, he still has yet to make the journey. He skipped out on the tournament last year. I was looking forward to seeing you, buddy. But what's, how you doing over there in California, man?
We're good. We're heating up now. But yeah, I just thought it's not meant to be, paintball and me, in Texas. It's not it. I don't know. I mean, at least Hatch looks the part. He's from Texas.
Amen.
I certainly don't
fit in down here a little bit, and also, I mean, it's a bold choice to get into a hot battle with the likes of Texas, because we've already it was a rough one down here today. We started heating up as I was sitting on Mopac trying to get home. Goddamn traffic! But boys, we got to get into the show more. Obviously, we're gonna be talking. You made the playoffs. You were in Sundays at the last Tampa Bay event. We love to see that growth from your guys' team, which started out as a D3 franchise before coming into the semi-pro ranks. So it's good to see progress there. Obviously, you guys have your own show, so we'll probably ask you a couple things about that as well. I'm excited to get more into it. But guys, first question up, let's talk about Tampa Bay. It's on everyone's minds. Obviously, you guys performed pretty well there. Shout out to another fellow videographer, 40 Media. He posted a great clip of you two clutching out a point the other day. So guys, what comes to your head when you think of Tampa Bay?
Oh man, honestly, 8th place. 8th place is what I think of. So, for me, I'm not that satisfied. I'm always striving for more. I'm excited to, first time we got there as semi-pro, but, I'm very excited to dive on into the Tampa Bay performance for sure.
Did he cut out for you too, Brandon? Was that just on my side?
No, he did. He cut out. Yeah. He lagged on my video as well, but
Okay, it was just the audio for me. Live show, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it goes so over here sometimes. Hatch, can you test your mic real quick? Is anything coming through?
No.
I'm not getting any
Nothing?
audio. I see his video, so that's good. All right, boys. This sucks. Let's go ahead. I'm going to bring up our hold screen. We're just going to pause for a second, see if we can get his mic working on while we're still early in the show, so we don't have to, unfortunately, let him go. So sorry about the delay, guys. We're going to be back with some technical difficulties in just a short moment here. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened with the connection issues there. But yeah, here we go, guys. So again, this episode we're going in the pits with Andy Ramos, rookie for Houston Heat. So Andy, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you doing, Christian?
And I'm doing great. Man, it's been an interesting week for sure.
I would say the last 3 weeks for me, honestly, but yes.
Yeah, I bet for you. Yeah, Sorry. We were texting. I got AJ texting me here. He's a little bit concerned about the connection issues that we had earlier, but we got them all.
Figured out.
Yeah, we got it all figured out. So yeah, sorry about that. Just some technical difficulties there. So yeah, Andy, I definitely want to get into your career and just like the crazy turn that it's been taking as of late. So let's get into it. This first question is brought to us by XTPL Events. So for those listening that maybe don't know about you, how long have you been involved in the Texas paintball scene?
Since 2020, I got into playing anything tournament wise. Before that, I had nothing to do with paintball. It was just strictly, paintball parties, and before that, I worked at a paintball store or park.
Interesting. So you actually haven't been, relatively speaking, you're still fairly new to the scene. So since 2020 was like basically right before the COVID shutdown happened was when you got in, right?
Yeah, basically, it was during that time. I had just finished high school, was going into college, and yeah, I was just like missing the sport. I was like, I've always been part of a sport, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, and I was like, I need to find something. So found paintball found me in a way.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny how like with so many things in paintball, and I think this is going to be a theme that we kind of touch back on as we get through the episode, is that so many things in paintball kind of just like fall into your lap, and if you are in the right place at the right time and you've done like the kind of the preparation leading up to it, then there are a lot of opportunities out there to take.
For sure.
Yeah. So what teams have you played for over your career?
Very few, probably like three, honestly. Most people are not gonna know this one, but I played one tournament when I first started with Los Pistoleros for a 3-man. After that, I joined the Cyclone program right after that, and I was part of that for D4, D3. We skipped D2, went straight to semi-pro for about a year. Play under one term under new management, which was the same group of guys, and then we switched to the Oilers, and that's about it. Other than that, like I've been playing for a 10-man group for Carbon, but other than that, like local wise, that's about it.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I love the you've got a lot of love here in the chat. Even just through your short time, relatively short time. I mean, 5 years doing anything is pretty long, but yeah, you've got lots of people coming in, showing some support. Yeah. Let's see. Too Sharky, where's the bus? We're definitely gonna get there. All right. So this next question is brought to us by QBRofficial.com. So tell us, what was it that got you into paintball to begin with?
Okay, I was working senior year. I was working at a paintball park zone. Jim owned it, and it was the North location in 1960. And while working there, one of the refs at the time came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to play like? You want to like snap at each other?" I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I'm like, "Well, let me show you." And so he started, like, he was basically destroying me. It was horrible. It was a bad experience. But it got me into the game. I started getting addicted to it. I started drilling on my own. He asked me to play my first 3-man with Los Pistoleros, and that was kind of my way into the paintball tournament era, I guess. Before that, it was just paintball parties and just me making money, honestly, just reffing.
Got it. So how old were you at the time?
Paintball star, I was 17. I think I was 18 when I played with those Pistoleros. I want to say I was 18 or 17, my first tournament.
Okay, so yeah, good age to start diving in for sure. So I know you haven't been playing for all that long, but this question's brought to us by Sasha and his 3-man series, San Antonio 3v3. So the registration for the Blue Bonnet Open is live now. I think it's actually about to close. So go get signed up. They offer beginner, D5 3-man, as well as open 3v3 X ball. So something for everybody. So go get signed up. So Andy, throughout your career, what are some things that you've noticed that have changed within the Texas scene, either for better or for worse?
Okay, definitely for better. The amount of people playing paintball now. I feel like in 2020, especially where I was playing, it was like us and just local people that went and played like rec ball. But I feel like now, especially at Wasteland, especially Phil, he's doing a great job with Outlaw and just building that like feeder program. And it's like allowing rookies, D5, those D4 guys to really have a painted path for them, how to do things. And I feel like that wasn't there before, at least 5 years ago, at least what I believe. It's only been 5 years for me. So what do I know, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Houston especially has seen a lot of change in the last couple of years, like not the least of which was kind of the upbringing of your home field, Wasteland. Like before Wasteland being there, like
You were
I feel like, yeah, I feel like in Texas, like the main hubs that were talked about were like the Dallas area, like Paintball Fit, um, San Antonio's, X Factor. You have even like back in 2020, 2021, like even like Outlaw Paintball in Pflugerville,
Yeah.
just north of Austin, was more of a hotbed. But Houston has always kind of been there, and it felt like Houston kind of did their own thing. Like they had at the time, like the the Gulf Coast series for USXBL. They had their own separate, essentially tournament series. And then the Houston, Texas paintball series was going pretty strong as well. So it felt like Houston kind of did their own thing for a couple of years there.
Definitely. I was part of a few of those while growing through the D4 and D3. But yeah, I feel like it's always been very spread out. I know Houston's very big compared to, Dallas and Austin, but we have so many paintball fields, and I feel like everybody just kind of gets scattered around. Wasteland has definitely helped, especially with 2 turf fields. Majority of the fields around here only have 1. Having 2 turf fields really make a change because like people can drill, and then 1 field could be strictly just for points. So people are just running points on that field all day long, and it's just great.
Yeah, I also kind of sometimes forget just how many fields there are in Houston. Like you've got, of course, Wasteland that's come up, and I would say been brought more to the forefront over the last couple of years. You've got Zone, who has been a long time staple of the Houston scene.
Yeah.
You've got also Texas Legends, and then you've got Splat with their indoor, and then more recently building their outdoor field, their full size. So just 4 fields within the city is a lot, and I feel like it's more than even like San Antonio really only has like 1, maybe 2 fields where tournament players can go play, but Houston has so many.
Yeah, yeah, and they're literally all probably less than an hour from me, which is wild. It's like, oh my god, it's a lot of options, but it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, everything has its pros and cons, but I think one of the cons is having everybody spread out. Unlike Fit and X Factor, I feel like majority of your tournament players are in one area, so you're building that whole community together. I feel like, especially in 2020, everything was so spread out that it was just kind of your own team and hoping you had enough bodies to go against each other. Or some people, you go to other fields and play them.
Right, for sure. You can definitely run into the opposite problem if you only have 1 field, like what X Factor was for the last probably year and a half up until they built their 3rd field, where you like the weekends that X Factor is getting ready for NXL, and they've got at that time they only had 2 speedball fields, so X Factor's got reserved for whoever
Yeah.
they're playing against, and then everybody else is crammed on the other field trying to fight each other to get on the box. Not literally fighting, but like you've got a long wait in between points.
I hear you. Yeah, that's kind of how Wasteland SB is like. Usually, Heat will take the 1 field with whoever they're bringing in a semi-pro team, and then everybody else is in the other field. So we're kind of in the same boat right now there, but I think John is doing a great job. So hopefully, if it goes well, we get another field.
Yeah, for sure. So this next one's brought to us by Colt Roberts and his training regimen, Paintball Kumite. So you started at age 17, right before the COVID shutdown. So I know like that was so long ago at this point, like 5 years ago. But what was it about tournament paintball specifically that made you want to come back to it after the lockdown restrictions started lifting?
That's fair. Like I said, I was in high school before, so I always had a sport, something to do. Let's be honest. I just always had something to do, and I was always doing a sport. And during the time, technically, COVID didn't affect it because I just started playing. So if anything, it was just my way of getting out of the house and being able to do things. And it was in a paintball park. It was outside, Nobody was freaking out over it. They were open, so it was just something to do, and I was kind of addicted to it, honestly.
That's fair. So the bug bit you,
Yeah,
as they
it
say.
definitely did after my first tournament. Yeah, that little 3-man action really got me.
Yeah, glad to hear it. So I know over in like the San Antonio area, at least for me, um during the shutdown, like there was probably like a 3-4 month period where everybody was trying to figure out like, can I go to the field, what the restrictions were going to be like. And then eventually USXBL did host a tournament. um I want to say it was like July or August at X Factor, um or sometime like during the summer. But I remember there being like a very strict, like, hey, if you're not actively playing the match, you have to have one of those face coverings on. So like, what did that kind of mid lockdown time period look like in Houston? Was there a lot of activity, or was everybody just kind of like spread out, very sparse, just waiting to get back to the field?
It was very sparse for sure. Like I think during 2020, when I joined the Cyclones, it was just literally us out there at like we got there Sunday at like 6:30, and we were on the field dressed like warming up at 7 a.m. and we were there until like 2, 3 in the afternoon during COVID year. Like that whole year, there's nothing else to do honestly, and we were the only ones going there, so we had the field open to us 24/7. And time to time, you had some rec baller kids, and that's really about it, though. We didn't really travel to other fields or like make practice at other fields. To be honest, we kind of just we had enough bodies to run 5v5 all the time, so we just did that for I would say a good straight year, and then there and there we did go to a couple practices, but it wasn't much.
I mean, even just having enough bodies to run 5-on-5 puts you at a significant advantage
Yeah,
compared to a lot of other places. And even at that time, like 2020, that was before Splat got built. That was before Wasteland got built. So really, you just had Legends in Zone at the time.
correct. Yes.
So yeah. This question is brought to us by Bemrap. So one thing that stands out to me on your PB Leagues history is the fact that you played with the same program for 4 seasons, which was the Cyclones. So our last episode that we had with Jed Isidro from currently playing for Shock, previously played for Dynamic, was how important it was to find a group to stay with during your time in the divisionals and really grow like year after year. So how do you feel like staying with the same team affected your growth as a player?
It's definitely important. I think it definitely helped my career as a paintball player. I've met people that jump around all the time, and I feel like that's very difficult, especially when you're trying to build your career and everybody else is around you. Playing 4 years with the Cyclones was probably the best thing that happened to me. Those guys like helped me to be where I'm at today, and I give them props every single time. Without them, I wouldn't be here, honestly. They were it's like anything you do from we were keeping each other accountable from the moment we started from it was D4 all the way through our semi-pro. It was accountability, and that's what helped us all get here where we're at today. So I think if you're thinking about going into paintball, find a good group and stay with them and just ride it out, man, because you learn together through tournaments, practices, and it just built your career, as a paintball player.
Yeah, for sure. I think here in Texas, we've definitely been blessed post COVID with the amount of programs that have stuck together for multiple years. You're seeing the level of play in Texas like get better significantly faster, I feel like, than pre-COVID, where the programs that were around, like you had Austin Notorious, who was the program that was always around, but they were always changing bodies. You had, other than that, it was like Shut Up or Trying started around like 2017, I want to say. And you had Texas Phalanx, um, and Grit but Grit was a little bit different in that they were like only one line versus like having a big program with multiple lines, multiple
Yeah,
divisions.
everybody's saying.
But nowadays, like you've got so many programs within Texas where you've got multiple teams playing in multiple divisions, sticking together for like 2, 3, 4 years. And I have noticed the just how quickly Texas has leveled up their game as a result.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, honestly. Like, it makes a huge difference, man. Like, it really does.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think the biggest thing is that you're not having to relearn the same stuff every year because you're going to a new team. You're not relearning calls. You're not relearning systems. It's just you're growing.
Yeah, 100% that, and chemistry too. Like, like that was one of the scary parts about going with Heat. It was like it was very short notice. I didn't know all their calls. Like, I'm still learning calls. Like we had a practice this weekend. They were yelling a call, and I'm like, I get off the field. I'm like, I need you to explain that call real quick because I forgot it. So it's those are the little things that that you build throughout the years of playing with the team and trusting each other, right? So I could see that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So because we've already had two Sharky in the chat ask us, we'll cover it now. So
Yeah.
tell us about the world famous
Uh,
Texas Cyclones bus situation and
Oh
what
yeah,
that was
man. Look, I really do not know. I really don't. Like, you guys are. I actually thought about it. I was thinking of saying just no comment and just continue to the next question. But I really don't know, to be honest. Um, I don't know where it's at. Your thought, it's probably the best thought because I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I will say it was cool. Like those couple of years when the Cyclones were a team, like seeing the bus in the parking lot with the
Yeah.
full wrap and everything. Like it was a very cool thing to see. I think it was a great billboard. Um, but yeah, I'm not eager to replace it. Let's just go with that.
I'm no comment.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So this question's brought to us by Mariachi Aguilas de Oro. So another thing that stands out to me is the fact that on your PB Leagues profile, you didn't really play too many local or regional events coming up. Like you did a few HTPS events and a few USXBLs here and there, but your main series was pretty much always been the NXL. So tell us more about like that path that you took.
Yeah, honestly, when I joined the Cyclones, our whole goal was to play only NXLs and then time to time play some USXBLs when we were like in the beginning. So like I think D4 and D3 only. But other than that, we were pretty much focused on NXLs just because like, NXLs the big dog, like everybody wants to win an NXL. Like winning a USXBL is good. HGPLs are great when you're starting, definitely. But when you get to the D3, D2, and semi-pro and pro, it's like you want to win an NXL. You want to be able to say we got first in this event, blah blah blah. It's like that feels good. And yeah, and also honestly, I was going through college and I was broke, so I wasn't able to play that many events.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, just from my perspective, like I think your D3 year with the Texas Cyclones was the same year that Bunkerfest operated up at Giant. And
Okay.
I remember that like the Cyclones still had a D4 line that attended those events, but I was just curious more about like why not just play as many events as you can, but like certainly financials are a big factor in that.
That was a huge financials was huge for us. Like some of the guys could pay their way, but some of us couldn't, and we had multiple people at the time like were going through college or didn't have careers, So it was just kind of what do we want to do, and we all decided as a group that we wanted to play in Excels, and like that was it. If we had spare change, then for sure we were going to try to play. I use XBL or HTPS, but other than that, nothing really got our attention. We were focused on an XL. We wanted to put ourselves in the big stadium, That's the big
That's fair
stage.
enough.
Put yourself out there.
Fair enough. All right. So this one is brought to us by TexanHemp.com. So you've been playing semi-pro for the 2023 and 2024 seasons, first with the Texas Cyclones, and then with the Clutch City Oilers, or I guess for last season with the Clutch City Oilers. So how has that journey bumping up to semi-pro compared to the previous 3 years before that in divisionals?
Yeah, it was massive, man. Like we had just finished D3 and we decided to completely skip D2 and go straight to semi-pro. We were thinking, why not just throw ourselves at the deep end? Like if we're gonna do it, if we play D2 and then we're eventually gonna get to semi-pro, might as well just throw ourselves out there. And we did, and we just swam. Like we learned very quickly. Our first year, it wasn't the best, but what would you expect, It was also the year that Blast Camp and Fit were there, so I think it was that season was pretty competitive overall. There was actually a few teams that year that were very good and still good. And so it really made us learn very quickly. The second year, which was this last year, I think it went well. We learned a lot of things. Mistakes were done, but overall, like it's been game changer, especially from before late to semi-pro. The time of the game is and movements and the other teams making decision timing it goes from here to like here, and even now it's like here now. So it's a big
Yeah, for
change.
sure. For sure. Looking back on it, do you wish that you had played a season in Division Two, or you think that you made the right choice skipping straight to semi-pro?
No, I'm glad we skipped to semi-pro. I Even I don't know, something about D2 just didn't make sense to us. I was like, why waste our money and our time there if we could just jump straight to semi-pro and play these guys now that we're gonna play the year later, and probably the next year after that. So I was like, might as well just start learning the way people play and the way the game is played at semi-pro level.
Fair enough. Yeah. The reason I ask is my team, the Texas Titans, we had the same conversation this past offseason, whether we wanted to skip D2 and go to semi-pro or not. And we all said that, like, kind of for the opposite reasons, we wanted to stay in D2 or do that year in D2 so that we could learn, like, basically to learn to win in each division on the way up. And we felt
Yeah.
that a year in Division 2, we would still be very competitive for wins, and that Sunday reps would be more beneficial to our development than going to semi-pro and like fighting just to get out of prelims, and just be basically having a more, I guess, maybe a feeling of being in over our heads versus like being towards the top and still learning a couple of lessons while winning.
No, it's a good I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Let me say
Mm.
that for sure. I think you guys made the right decision. If that's what you guys, as a conclusion, that's what they came. I think it's the right decision. I think it's also great to get reps on Sundays. We definitely missed a couple of those through our semi-pro.
Mm.
Came to a couple of Sunday like overtimes, which are rough. But I think the more time you spend on Sundays is really beneficial towards your team, just because you learn the style of play and how important every point, every movement, every thought that goes into that point, overall match, it affects everything. And overall, your learning curve will it adjusts, like we had to adapt very quickly, but maybe D2 gives you more of a controlled environment to learn. And then when you come to semi pro, you already have an advantage, I guess, in a way, and then just keep adding on to it.
Yeah, fair enough. And I feel like D2 in 2025 was definitely very different than D2 in 2023.
Yeah.
With like even now there are a few players that were playing pro last year that are playing D2 this year. So I do feel like Division 2 also has had, like, if looking at the registration numbers, for example, in Tampa, Division 2 was the first division to sell out, which I feel like is a huge anomaly. So that shows like there are more teams sticking together. Like we weren't the only ones that decided to go D2. Like um, Colorado, not Avalanche. It was Altitude Sickness,
Yeah.
who was like they were a top 3 team in Division 3 the year before. They moved up to Division 2. You had remnants from the dynamic camp, the guys that didn't get picked up for shock. They all stuck together. They went to Division 2. The Cleveland Chaos, I think, also went Division 2 from Division 3. So you have kind of a similar trend from what was happening in Texas with the same like players, same programs sticking together and moving up, was happening across the country. So I feel like Division 2 this year, anyway, definitely has more teams that have that experience playing together.
Hey man, I could be wrong. Look at the semi-pro teams that won this last tournament. They were both D2 teams, top
Mhm.
D2 teams from last year. So maybe we did it wrong. Maybe we should have played D2. Not semi-pro.
Yeah, I think there's it's interesting. I do think there's kind of a new trend, especially with looking at what PB Fit has done in the professional division. I think more and more teams and programs are taking note of that and just saying, hey, if we just stick together and go level by level, then we're gonna be set up for success.
100%, yeah. If you guys
So
are committed, 100%.
mhm, absolutely. So throughout your entire playing career, what has been your single favorite moment so far?
Ooh. Well, I have 2, I would say. Uh, the first one, obviously, just joining a pro team, but before that, it was definitely winning gold at D3 Dallas. I think that was one of the events we got first for an NXL, and it's nice. It's nice. It's something that everybody tries to do, and it's very difficult. Everything has to go right your way, and it was good. It felt good, and that's probably the best feeling I've had from paintball.
Yeah, for sure. That the event that was at Giant?
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. I think it
Yeah.
was a minor at the time, right? It was like what? Is that
Yeah.
2022 before we got rid of them, and then we went all to majors again?
Yeah, I think it was that the minor that had the blind layout with the weird
Correct.
like
And it was
yeah.
inverted. Yeah, it was inverted.
Uh,
You had Doritos and Snake in both sides, technically. Yeah.
yeah, that was quite the event for
Yeah.
sure. I was injured for that event and I still went up to coach and I was so upset that I didn't get to play that layout because it looked like so much fun.
It was a blast. I'll definitely tell you that. I had fun. It was just like what the last inverted layout was
It was
Vegas last year.
Vegas last year, yeah.
Yeah, Vegas last year. They're fun. They're one. Some people don't like them, but time to time, throw it around, change it up. It's not bad.
Yeah, I dig them. I think they are a new way to like keep people on their toes and the fundamentals of paintball don't change, right?
Yeah, they don't. It's just new angles. Figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. So this next question is brought to us by 71 Designs. So at Tampa, you were a last second pickup for Houston Heat, and congrats again on making it to the pros. So tell us more about like how did that come to be?
First of all, thank you. Yes. How did that? Let's see. It was layout weekend. We were scrimmaging Heat and Outlaw semi-pro line, and we did Saturday, Sunday. Friday was on our own, but Saturday we were running points. Heat was just Heat, and then we came back. Had some people tell me that they were asking about me, and I was like, okay, cool. And then Sunday was the day where Coach Ryan approached me. He was like, "Can you come out to Monday or come out this following Monday and just practice with us?" And I was like, "Sure." And from there, they asked me, and it's been great, honestly. And I appreciate them for taking a risk on me, obviously, because it was like 4 days before the event. So it's been a journey, honestly. I'm learning from every single one of those guys in that team. They can all ball. So it's great to learn from all their experiences and try to be the best I can and fast, possibly. Hopefully I could learn very fast.
Yeah, I mean, just getting not just poached from semi-pro, but getting poached onto a team that has currently the longest Sunday streak in the professional division is a massive step up. And there's lots of people here in the chat giving you congratulations for that. And this question is brought to us by Hydra. So as soon as you came in, you immediately made an impact on the professional division. You made Sunday in your first pro event ever. And it's cool that we have individual player stats now and they're tracking that. So you played, according to those stats, you played 10 points during the event and you went 6-4. So you have a positive, I guess, plus 2 whenever you're on the field. So tell us more about how your paintball career has changed since getting picked up and what your new practice routine looks like.
Oh, it's changed drastically, honestly. I was probably practicing twice a week. Let's do this, twice a week. And then now, after my first pro event, and I have noticed that you only get like one shot, and that one shot's like really tight. I've been drilling probably 3 times a week and playing on Sundays. So I've been playing a lot more paintball. Travel time, like we just came back from Chicago, literally from practicing as a team, and we get a week break, and then we go back next week, and then we get a week break, and then it's layout weekend, and then we're here back in Houston. So it's all very quickly, and it's a lot of travel time and just overall time consuming. Like people don't. I feel like people don't see that side of a pro paintball. Now, maybe some of these guys can maybe skip a weekend or two, but I feel especially like for rookie guys like me, I need to be playing more paintball than before because I'm playing against people that have been playing it since the game started. Like these guys combine and he have more experience than I've ever been playing paintball for. I was like not even born when these guys were playing already pro. So it's kind of crazy to even think about that. So time consume, not in a bad way, obviously, but just time and commitment for sure. That's one thing you need to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely calling yourself a professional means you got to do professional type things, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Here in the chat, you got Let's Go Andy from Pat McKenna.
What's up, Pat?
Wow.
Hopefully you're at practice next week. I'm hoping.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. You got Troy French giving you some
appreciate it.
some love here as well.
Love
from Carbon. So yeah. And anybody here in the chat, first off, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions that you want to ask Andy, please get them in the chat now. We're getting kind of towards the end of our show. So Andy, you touched on your schedule, getting ready for AC. So is the team, it sounds like Houston Heat is making a bigger effort to play more weekends together as a team. Is that, would you say that's the approach that they have now, or?
Yeah, I don't know how they were doing things before, so I can only speak to what's going on now. So yes, we are definitely practicing a lot. You also have to keep in mind, like they lost, what is it, 3 new Blast Cam plus me 4. That's 4 new technically players to the team, right?
That's
pretty sure
that's a lot of changes. Yeah.
Yeah. So especially for a pro team that really wasn't picking up people, like they don't let go people, and they didn't pick up many people majority of the time. Before those Connor and Tyler, and before that I don't even know because I don't think I was even playing paintball before that. So those are probably the only things have changed with Heat since I've been playing. So that tells you something in 5 years. So we definitely been practicing more just because of that. I would think so.
Yeah, definitely makes sense, especially with like again, going back to the rise of paintball fit. I mean, they play like 5 times a week.
Yeah, they play a lot of paintball.
So everybody's got a lot of catching up to do for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, here Verbs in the chat says fake Ronnie.
Man, I'm sorry. You should wait till next event. It's gonna be fun. Good luck recording me and Ronnie and trying to figure out who's a part other than our jersey numbers and hoppers.
Loader numbers, Verb. Loader numbers, man. That's why they're there.
That's all you're gonna get, to be honest, because we're rocking basically the whole same setup. It's kind of funny, but
yeah, unscoutable. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here, question in the chat: who's better at 1v1s, Raffield or Boyd?
Woo! Well, we got to give it to who won, which was Raffield. So we got to give it to Raffield, who won. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Fair enough. I don't think you can go wrong picking either of them.
Nah,
it's a 1v1.
Those are always right there. Those are the boys. No, man, those two. Good luck. If you're in front of them, all props to you, man. I usually look cross when I see them in front of me. I'm like, let me look cross for a little bit. I'll let you hang out, shoot a zone, Time to time, I'll pop the top, but just leave me.
Yeah, look over there. It's like, wait, is that Jake over there? I'm good. That's someone else's problem.
Yeah, you got it. My 2 will definitely handle it,
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. And then some love from AJ here, coach of the Clutch City Oilers.
Coach right there.
Sir. Yeah. Definitely a big loss for the Oilers, but I mean, Houston Heat called, you answered, and you're doing well already. Just one event in.
Props to them. They helped me make my decisions or helped me throughout my decision making for sure. It was a process, especially like days before the event. So they're
Yeah,
very
for
understanding.
sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I do want to give some props to AJ there. I mean, I know earlier it was also announced that Jake Raffield is now in the Hurricanes camp. He wasn't playing for the Hurricanes at this first one, but I know that transition is going to happen at some point. So if you've got two players getting picked up to pro teams at the same time, you've got to be doing something right. So props to you, AJ. Keep it up.
For sure.
All right. So this question is brought to us by Get That Shot, who's pro media for HK Army. He has all the media that's been for like the thumbnails and the posters of you because he does it for Heat. So be sure to reach out to him, message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram if you're needing media coverage at all this season at NXL, at USXBL. So Andy, this is something that I ask everybody that comes on the show just to help keep tabs on anybody out there who's putting in the important work here for the community and might be flying under the radar a little bit too. So is there anybody in Texas? It could be a team, an individual player, it could be a brand, could be a community member, a project that you believe deserves more recognition for what they're doing.
I go ahead and give a shout out to definitely just the Oiler camp. I think we made efforts to bring a D2 line and start more of a feeder program in a way. I think that's important in our community. Definitely Phil. I think he's doing a fantastic job overall, making the Outlaw program a whole D5 through semi-pro team. People see this like a goofy thing sometimes, but honestly, I think it's huge because like it lets you bring new players, and that's the only way paintball is going to stay alive. We need more players to play paintball. And if you don't have a beginning feeder program and these people have to go all on their own, building their team, building the name, doing all these things in the background that you really don't want to deal with other than just play paintball, that's great. That's always a great time. So huge shout out to him. And John, by the way. John is doing a fantastic job with Wasteland and TXR. So
Yeah, I want to echo that, especially for Philip. I mean, you got to understand how hard it is to run a single line in paintball. Yeah. That man runs like double digits at times between all of the divisions. Like the amount of individuals that he brings into the game and supports through his company and his program is just absolutely insane. The amount of work that he does. So major shout out to Philip Middleton. I see his son Tyler is in the chat saying, let's go Outlaw. Yeah, I think Tyler was actually at the Team USA tryouts this past weekend, I believe.
I believe so.
Shout out.
He's going to grow real big.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots. And we'll see him kind of being the next generation after you. I'm sure we'll see him in there. All right. So I'm going to check in the chat one last time. We got lots of little heat.
Yeah, this is the new thing they're starting, man. I'm not really like
I wasn't sure if it was a nickname that you already had before getting picked up by Heat or what the story was back there.
No, there's some other ones in there. Hopefully they don't appear, but yeah. No, that was not it. That's definitely a new one. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So let's see. Wasteland is your second home. Ezekiel Lopez, congrats. D Jones says congrats for a Houston player getting on the Houston pro team. Yeah, we gotta bring some this Texas pro team needs more Texas players. I think they lost most of them. So
I think I'm the only Houston.
I guess if you count Ryan Smith, right?
Yeah, the code. Yeah, he's from here as well. But other than that, everybody else is out of state. So
yeah, Midwest Heat. We should call it.
Yeah, facts.
All right, y'all. So I think that just about does it for our show. So Andy, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, other than thank you very much for having me. And no, thank you for honestly for doing the podcast. It's great stuff like this. I like anything that's paintball related. So appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been been fun, and we definitely need to be featuring stories like yours. I mean, Houston Heat, a top 5 NXL pro team, picks up a player 3 days before an event out of nowhere. That story needs to be told, and we need to get more stories like that, the coverage that they deserve. So yeah, I think that just about does it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to go follow Andy on Instagram at Andy Detailing 27. So what other guests would you all like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live weekly, usually Wednesday evenings here at Major League Paintball's YouTube channel. I know today is Tuesday. We had some connection issues here at the start of the show. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, just check the calendar. Check the calendar date. So that will be usually on 7:30 p.m. Central here at youtube.com/at Major League Paintball. And recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner and sponsor tier subscribers on Patreon. Get That Shot, Paintball Kumite, BEM Raps, Hydra, XTPL events, Mariachi Aguilas de Oro, San Antonio 3v3 series, 71 Designs, TexanHemp.com, QBRofficial.com, and I don't believe I said their name earlier, but our newest sponsor of the show, the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man series. The registration is live for that series. Go sign up. I will be the head ref for that. We're bringing an entire ref crew from outside of Houston to come in. Make sure you guys have a great time. So we will see you guys next week for episode 140. We're edging closer and closer to the big 150. So we will see you then. Andy, thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you, man.